Hello coaster lovers. So if you have been following the channel for a while, you know that my first ranked video was all the B&Ms that I have ridden, but that was uploaded in March of 23 and I've only ridden a total of 7 B&Ms, but now it's August of 2024 and I've ridden a total of 11 B&Ms, but that's going to change very soon later this month or in September. So in this video, I'm going to rank every single B&M that I've ridden as of August of 2024. So if you're new here and are bored and want some coaster content, this is a good channel to be at. So taking out the trash with number 11 is with Rougarou, aka Rougarou. I see why this is the least popular thrilling coaster at Cedar Point. This coaster is just trash, and even the layout isn't that great in my opinion, but I do like the setting though. The thing that just ruins this coaster is the nasty rattle. In the potholes, it feels like it's going to shake its bolts off of the track. This is not a pleasant experience at all, but if you want the credit, go ahead and get your +1. Onto the number 10 spot, this coaster isn't that good. It is SheiKra. The first new B&M on this list is SheiKra. If you want me to go more in depth into this attraction, go ahead and click the card above, but the only standout moment for me is the drop, and that's pretty much it for good elements. I mean, the splashdown is fun, but everything else does not do it for me. It's very lackluster. A similar ride to SheiKra but is a little bit better is Valravn taking the 9th spot. This is the superior dive coaster, because it does everything SheiKra does, but better, besides the drop in forces. Like the views on the top are better, the layout, I could go on and on. Like I said earlier, I do think the drop in forces are better on SheiKra because on Valravn, the vests kill 50% of the airtime you would think you would get. But would I do this again when I go back to Cedar Point? Yeah, but would I marathon it? No. This coaster isn't that bad. It's a fun ride. Alright, number 8. This will definitely bring up some controversy, and it's an unpopular opinion, because the number 8 spot is held by Kumba. And to not sound redundant, I have a review for the rest of these rides, and the reason why this is so low is for one reason, and if you want to know why, go ahead and click the card above to find out why Kumba is ranked so low. But if you're lazy, I'll tell you anyway. It's the nasty rattle. It feels almost identical to Rougarou's rattle, and that was built 3 years after Kumba. With those two coasters, we're stuck with the rattle because Retrack is looking so bright for either attraction. But I do love the forces and layout of Kumba. A ride that does not have a nasty rattle is Wild Eagle, which is placed at number 7. This is still one of the most underrated coasters I've ever been on. None of the coasters at Busch Gardens aren't really underrated. Either they met my expectations or I overhyped them in my head. But back to Wild Eagle, this coaster is smooth, has a good amount of intensity, and the placement is amazing. Also, the trains look beautiful with the eagles. It's not the most intense B&M on this list, but it's definitely the most underrated. I always see people trashing on this coaster, but I guess I don't have enough credits as the other people who are trashing Wild Eagle. It's a fun coaster. I was very surprised it had some forces. I thought this was going to be like Valravn where it's kind of forceless, but this coaster definitely exceeded my expectations. Onto the number 6 spot, if this coaster didn't exist, I would still be a GP. It is Banshee. This coaster is the reason why I have this channel and this hobby/interest. But for the ride, it's my least favorite B&M invert, but it's not a bad ride at all means. It's a great invert out of the 3 I've been on. The reason why it's last is because it has the same problem as Kumba and Rougarou. It's the rattle, but at least this one is not as bad. It's a very noticeable vibration. It really hits in the valleys, but for everything else minus the rattle, it delivers either great hang time or strong positive G's. In the bottom of the pretzel knot, it's very intense. I also like the color scheme. It pops in Action Zone. But a ride that is even more pretty than Banshee is another underrated coaster. It is GateKeeper. This is by far the most underrated coaster at Cedar Point. I even have a shirt, a poster, and a Nano coaster for it. I will eventually make a video for all the Nano coasters I have in a different video, but I have a lot. But anyway, this coaster is one of the most beautiful coasters out there. Seeing the coaster in the skyline next to the beach is just breathtaking. As for the ride experience, it's really fun. The wing over drop has great hang time, and actually, all the inversions have great hang time. Also, seeing GateKeeper flying over the keyholes at the front gate is just a spectacle. It's so picturesque and iconic. And for every coaster on this list, there is one thing I would change. For GateKeeper, it's easily the final helix. I would add a figure eight style helix to add some excitement. Onto the number 4 spot, this is one of the most intense coasters I've ever been on, and that is with Raptor, just barely missing the top 3. Keeping with the trend of pretty coasters, this is the most prettiest invert that I've seen to date. Seeing the coaster traverse its layout and hearing the loud and iconic roar of the train while you're on the midway just hits different. For the ride experience, it's a fantastic B&M. All the inversions are so whippy and snappy, especially with the Cobra roll and final 2 corkscrews. Make sure to keep your head forward or apply pressure to one side of the restraint. I tried that on Kumba and it works like a charm. But back to Raptor, I also have a shirt and Nano coaster for it. But if you dial up the intensity on Raptor 2 and 11, you get this coaster called Montu, which breaks the top 3. This is the king of inverts. This also cracks my top 10 for right now. but this coaster had me seeing gray for 75% of the time. It is that intense. Like I said earlier, this ride is basically Raptor but dialed up to an 11, and it also looks pretty to look at, even though it looks like it was a part of a mustard attack. I've gotten used to the color scheme. The 7 inversions have very strong positive Gs, especially at the Batwing, but you don't really get hang time, which is fine by me. Fantastic coaster overall. A ride that is also fantastic is Diamondback. I only got to ride this coaster once during my annual visit this year, and it was the exact same as I remembered. Great drop, great forces, and phenomenal airtime. The rattle felt the same. It's just the paint job that is different. The entire coaster looks stunning with its red and dark mushroom colors. It really fits within Rivertown. It was also really funny last year on how the track changed colors with its brand new paint job and its old faded paint job, but this coaster still has a special place in my heart. I have also been skipping this ride for about a year, even though I was an enthusiast, but I was a newbie. It still scared me. Then I rode it in haunt of 2021 with some old friends, and that made me over the top confident to ride this coaster for the first time. Staying at the same park, this is another coaster I've ridden in the same day, and that is with Orion, which is crowned as the best B&M I've ridden. I will eventually release an updated review for this ride. After under 3 years, it's still my favorite B&M. Maybe when I ride Fury, that will dethrone Orion as my favorite B&M, but I haven't been to Carowinds yet, so oh well. But anyway, this coaster is so freaking good. The first drop just lasts forever and is different from the other two Gigas with Fury and Leviathan, but this is more similar to Leviathan than Fury because it doesn't have many low to the ground maneuvers like how Fury does. Diamondback definitely has more airtime than Orion, but I feel like Orion has more intensity than Diamondback. These two coasters are neck and neck in my top 10, but I slightly took Orion over Diamondback. I find Orion a tiny bit more enjoyable because it's just more fun. I don't know why though, but I'm not dissing about Diamondback though. So there you go. That is all the B&Ms I've ridden, ranked. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. There will be more ranked videos coming soon, and make sure to keep that adrenaline pumping, and thanks for watching.